this phone for this wonderful Mike's somewhat instant. God, fuck. For this somewhat instant Mike's instant movie review, which this half-assed. There we go. So basically, I saw two movies recently, kind of reminded me of each other, and also, unfortunately, reminded me of a lot of films we've already seen and enjoyed over the years. I'll start with the most recent one. One Battle After Another, loaded cast, Leonardo DiCaprio at the helm as the lead actor, Benicio del Toro. Always nice to see him. He's a great actor. And it's a star-studded cast, a good cast, a great cast. I mean, this is, a lot of these films just load up the cast, and that's all wonderful. And DiCaprio is now in dad mode, and what's this film about? Well, this is my problem. The film is about some type of alternate universe, somewhat like our world, American USA society, world society. There's this vague notion of a dystopian type of sad future, sad plight, a government, which is controlling the people. Early on, we hear that there's some type of abortion ban, abortion control. And this group, I believe it's called the French 75. I'm not sure what the reference is. I mean, I'm French, so I should probably know that if that's a real reference. The French 75 is this anarchy group or this rebellion group, Vive la Resistance. And they kind of seem like assholes, to be honest with you, because they're blowing up stuff. I mean, they seem to make somewhat of a point of blowing up a building after hours. But you know what? Most buildings, even after hours, have at least a security guard or two in the building, so they killed somebody. And they're blowing up buildings, and one thing they do that's nice in the early part of the film, kind of the save the cat moment, if you're not familiar with that term. Blake Snyder wrote a book about screenwriting called Save the Cat, which basically means the lead character, if he's unlikable, they'll have the lead character save a cat in the movie early on to make you like this unlikable character. So in this film, you could say that the save the cat moment is they free these detainees, people that look like, undocumented citizens or illegal aliens, depending on your point of view. So that's kind of the save the cat moment, that they load up this truck full of human beings and free them and stuff. But my problem with this movie and the other movie we're going to discuss, The Long Walk, is that the exact nature of this dystopian government, this overbearing government, is very unclear. Thanks for the likes, by the way, and the views. Here I am. This is live, folks, Friday afternoon, so comment if you like. But basically, there is no real originality in exactly who is this government, who are the bad guys, basically, and what are their goals and aims. I mean, I was mentioning the movie Under Siege last night to someone, way back, the Steven Seagal movie, which was kind of original because it had two main bad guys. Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey played the two lead bad guys, and they actually had very clear objectives and clear personalities. Now, in this film that I saw yesterday, and I did see it in Dolby Digital, so it looked great, One Battle After Another, there's no clear enemy. To me, it wasn't clear who were the bad guys, what was the government's lock on people. I mean, as far as the anti-abortion stuff and other things, that kind of just seems like where we're at now. That's a tough sentence. Where we're at now. So it didn't really seem like there was much thought into the villains, the bad guys, except the Christmas adventurers. And this is probably the most fun of the movie. Is Sean Penn plays this really, I thought, a pretty interesting bad guy. He was probably the focus for me as far as enjoying the film. Sean Penn's a great actor, and from Spicoli. Actually, there is a Fast Times at Ridgemont High reference in this film that you might not have caught. But Sean Penn's a great actor. He did defeat, not his fault, but him in Milk beat out the wrestler Mickey Rourke, 20 years ago for the Oscar. I thought that was a travesty. But Sean Penn's a great actor. He's done Mystic River, done a ton of stuff. And here he gets to play the bad guy, which I think for a lot of actors is fun. And he does a good job with it. And even his neck, I think his character name was like stiff neck or long neck or Colonel asshole or something. It was pretty much on the mark, but it was funny. And I did enjoy Sean Penn in this film as the bad guy. But his Christmas Adventurers, that's the name of like the inner elite, like this racist white Purian group, the inner elite bad guys, kind of like a Masons type group or an Epstein Island type group. But these guys, once again, it felt very vague, and they had like a little ceremonial salute to each other, which was like Hail Nick or something. It just seemed preposterous, and it seemed almost like a self-parody. It didn't seem legitimate. It didn't seem grounded or real to me in any way. It just seemed like this Christmas Adventurers, I don't think they really went into any reasoning for their tip of the hat to Saint Nick. I guess he's a jolly old white man with gray in his beard. Shit, I should play Saint Nick. So I just didn't get the whole point of it. It just seemed like, cartoony type of shit. Also, a big theme of this movie is the mother-daughter relationship of these revolutionaries. And DiCaprio is kind of a simp for this, sexy woman. Hey, beautiful, please tell us your gender. Male. I'm male, Syed. Syed has he's the first commenter, and look at my wonderful beard, Syed. But in any event, this movie, they make this big deal about this, what do you call it? Sup, hello, 1122, nice to see you. Oh boy, another message held for review. I'll get to that in a minute. But basically, this interracial relationship, they make a big deal about it in this movie between DiCaprio and this beautiful revolutionary lady. She's also cheating on him and so forth. There's a bit of a love triangle. But they make this big deal about this biracial child, and it felt like this would be kind of edgy in 1992, or maybe even before that. Like, it felt like this storyline of this controversy or this craziness because there's a biracial child born. Is that really so shocking? In this alternative universe that we're in this movie, apparently, but in our universe, Chris Rock and other people have done comedy about this. You put on any television commercial these days, and it's pretty much biracial couples, either white and black, or Asian and black, or Asian and white, or Latino and something, or Korean, which is fine. But that just seems to be a way for these companies to market to more people. They figure if we just have a fully black couple in this commercial, we're only marketing to black folks. If we put a white person and a black person together, we're marketing to both shades of color in people's skin, which is kind of a silly thing in the first place. If you think about it, we're all human beings, aren't we? But my point is simply, this movie is making such a goddamn big deal, like it's some revolutionary premise that an interracial couple is going to have a biracial child, and it's so shocking. I don't think anyone gives a shit anymore. And the people that would give a shit are not going to go see this movie and be convinced to change their evil ways. Like, this is not whatever the fuck, A Time to Kill with Matthew McConaughey, 20 years ago. This is not some revolutionary thing. No, imagine if she was white, said McConaughey in that one. But this is not revolutionary premise. This is not some type of revolutionary thing. This is just, who cares? And so basically the movie, as good as the action was, as good as the performances are, everyone looks great. The sexy black mom, DiCaprio, he's got this little man bun and all this shit, and he's simping over this woman. And Sean Penn has a weird haircut in this one too, but I thought he was great. And even the 16-year-old daughter actress did a great job. And even the white evil guys did a fine job. Also, another thing, spoiler, there's a lack of conclusion between the DiCaprio and Penn characters. It's basically like the bio father against the stepfather for this biracial child, and they don't have a big fight at the end, and it's just kind of dumb. Live Blueberry has a very rude comment that I'm not even going to acknowledge. Think of some better shit, Blueberry. So what else? Okay. Oh, the end of the movie. this is the little Easter egg that most folks probably won't catch, but I did. The end of the movie kind of ends on an upbeat, and it ends with the song American Girl by Tom Petty. She was an American girl. It's a good way to end the movie on an up note because the movie kind of goes all over the place. That song kind of brings you to a good focus point. I believe that song was used in the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which was in conjunction with the sexy character, not Phoebe Cates, but Jennifer Jason Leigh's character. I believe she used the song, or the song was used for one of her scenes when she's sneaking out of the house to go hook up with this older guy who impregnates her. But they played that song American Girl, if I'm not mistaken, which was very appropriate in that song, in that movie, because basically she's going out to get promiscuous and to get sexed up. And in Jennifer Jason Leigh's case in that film, that classic, I believe, 1981-82 film, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which of course brought Spicoli, Sean Penn to the mix as far as fame. Hi, Kringema. That's an interesting name. I'm saying hi to Kringema. Kind of a cool name. God damn it all. I'm trying to say hello to Kringema and I'm losing my phone. So anyway, let's go on to so is this movie worth seeing or not? If you have nothing better to do, if you can find the movie, if you have the AMC subscription or the Cinemark subscription or the Regal subscription, yes, go see this movie. It's worth seeing. It's not a waste of time, but is it a classic? Is it Pulp Fiction? Is it something that we're going to be talking about 20 or 30 years from now? No. It reminds me most of Civil War, which I believe came out maybe 2 years ago. I think, was that Laura Dern or was that the blonde actress? She's good. You know, she's been in a lot of stuff because her name is Kate or Caitlin or whatever the fuck. Not Reese Witherspoon, but the other one. So basically, Civil War, Kirsten Dunst. Is it Kristen Dunst or is it Kirsten Dunst? Dunst. Anyway, Civil War and this one are both lacking in the development of the antagonists. They both suffer from that. Now let's go on to The Long Walk. I saw this one maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. This one, if you've ever read the short story The Lottery or seen the films The Hunger Games, or there was a bunch of films like this. I think Ice-T was in one of them. Stone Cold Steve Austin was in one of them. It might have been called The Hunted. They're all kind of the same. They're basically like the human is the prey, you know, or in The Lottery's case, and also The Hunger Games based their stuff on The Lottery short story. It's, society must have a sacrifice and we're going to have some type of competition or game and weed out the weak and only one will be surviving. The Running Man, okay, from Arnold Schwarzenegger way back when. And I think there was a remake of that, or a remake is coming out. But the point is, all these movies have the same goddamn premise. The poor, the working class, the people have to compete against each other. Even that TV show that I started to watch, it's a Korean show, you know what I'm talking about, the Pelican Games or the fucking whatever the fucks. So basically, it's the same idea. It's the working class has to compete to stay alive. This movie, once again, some type of vague dystopian future. And the premise is these young men, basically 18 to 22-year-old men, volunteer to go on this long walk that's, basically ruled by the military. And basically these guys, they're not racing in particular. They have to keep a speed of 3 miles an hour, I believe, on foot. And they just walk endlessly until they start dropping left and right. And basically you drop or you lose the speed. If you get tired or if you have to go to the bathroom, you don't get a bathroom break. You have to go right there on your feet. And that happens a couple of times. And guess what happens if you lose, if you stop walking or if you pass out or if you crap your pants and you have to stop walking at the speed, you get shot right in the fucking head. So this movie, once again, this dystopian future, kind of vague. And we do see people living their lives in this movie And they don't seem like they're doing that poor off. I mean, even the guys that are doing the walk, these 18 to 20-year-old, 22-year-old guys, they're all wearing nice shoes and backpacks and clothes. If they were really so poor and destitute, where do they get these nice clothes and these nice backpacks and stuff? So it doesn't make any goddamn sense. And why would these young men volunteer to do this stupid death game when there's about 30 of them that compete in this thing and only one's going to live, and they all know that? Why would they do this if not just form a revolution, form a pack, and go after the military? Like if all these guys have the same idea that they're going to revolt or whatever the fuck, or that idea comes to them, why don't they just do that in the first place? Why do they sign up for this long walk? And once again, there's no clarity as to how these bad guys are bad. They're just vaguely dystopian, vaguely overpowering, vaguely Big Brother bad guys, evil government. So in the film, it also feels kind of cheap, and I'll explain, because they get us to, obviously, unless you're cold-hearted, and these actors do a fine job, but you're going to attach to these characters. There's the little Asian guy, there's this one, there's the hillbilly, the Native American, all these characters you kind of get warmed up to, and then they kind of focus on one of these characters for 20 minutes or so, and then boom, they take a nice bullet in the head, very graphic, and this pattern just keeps going for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and after a while, it just feels very manipulative and cheap. Like, okay, we get it. Unless you're a cold-hearted asshole, you're going to have some empathy or sympathy for these characters, and you just know where it's headed. They're all going to get shot in the fucking head. There's also there's a switcheroo in this movie where there's a couple of little twists that I saw coming a mile away. There's a character, I'll just say, that's kind of they call him the rabbit. I saw that coming. I saw the switch up at the end coming. I just saw these things happening. The lead guy, and not to, play the race card, so to speak, but it's your typical movie where the white guy is the main guy and the black guy is the supportive friend. We've seen that a million fucking times. And they bond like brothers, even though one of them is going to get shot in the head. I mean, we've seen all this crap. And, but basically the white guy is a little bit chubby. I mean, he's not a fat guy, but he's just a little bit soft around the midsection. And I had a hard time buying that his character was going to be outlasting these other guys. Like the Native American guy is pretty jacked up. And there's a few other characters that are, just the actors are in better physical shape. And they're telling us that the guy that's just a little bit pudgy. I mean, he's not a fat guy or anything, but he's just kind of looks like a dude that's kind of in shape, but not really. And he's going to outlast these other dudes. I just didn't buy that. You know what I mean? So it was just a casting decision, or perhaps the actor, they thought he looked a little relatable, being maybe 10 or 15 pounds overweight, no big deal, but just, I didn't buy it that he would actually be the one to survive this thing or get close, as it were. So this movie, The Long Walk, it's not crap. If you were like a 15 or 16-year-old version of me, Mike Messier, and you saw this movie and you hadn't seen The Hunger Games, you hadn't seen or read the short story, the fucking Lottery, then you might be very impressed by this film and think, oh my God, this is so crazy and holy shit and yada, yada. But if you are familiar with those other works, it's just going to feel very derivative, as they say. So fine, folks, I'm still working on my wonderful artwork. I did this wonderful piece like 2:30 in the morning or so forth. Look at my wonderful art. I'm always doing things. MikeMessier.com, Mike Messier Art on Instagram. Some of you folks had some comments. Some of you did not. I'm also on TikTok as Mike Messier Art, so you can check it out or not. So for those of you that commented, Cringema had a nice comment. Syed kind of had a half-assed comment. 1122 had a fine comment, and someone got deleted. But in any event, folks, that's your fucking Mike's Instant Movie Review. Both movies, I would say if you had to see one, see Another Battle After Another. It's slightly better than The Long Walk. But, I mean, neither movie is horrible. If there's nothing else to see, go see them. But neither movie is great. So they're both kind of like 3 out of 5 stars, or maybe 2.5 out of 5 if you really wanted to get hardcore about it. As far as other movies that are good out there, if you get to see the Superman film, I thought that was pretty good. I thought the Fantastic Four film was pretty good. And, so on and so forth. I didn't see the Hamilton film. I kind of kept telling myself to see it because I've never seen the stage play. People have been talking about this thing for 10 years. I've never seen the play or the movie. I believe it was a movie released on Hulu during the pandemic, and here it is on the big screen, and it's basically getting phased out of the theaters. It's 3 hours long, though, and I don't know if I really want to invest my time into that situation. You know what I mean? Like, some of these movies are just so bloated and they're long, and some deserve to be and some don't. So I don't know if I can handle singing and dancing for 3 hours or 2 hours and 59 minutes. If you have any thoughts on that, you can leave them or not. So it's Mike Messier. Thanks for watching, everyone. It does look like a couple of people watched this review and a couple of people thumbed up. So thanks for those that did such. Mike Messier. Have a good weekend, fine folks. I'm going to put my little